Oh, I can't say that early in this. Anyways, hey, welcome back. How you doing? Welcome to another video where I will talk about Invincible Season 3. Is it super late? Yeah, 100%. And did is it like a great video? I don't know. You tell me. But one thing I will say about this video is that I posted it like a week and a half ago and YouTube blocked it. It was a 45-minute long video that took me forever to finally finish. And then it turns out most of the video that I had made was just not allowed on YouTube. I guess I had too many violent clips. I don't really know exactly what happened, but they blocked it. So, as I did with my common side effects video, I'm going to try to kind of copy that format and just pray for me that it works because I may or may not have deleted all of my Invincible footage as I was deleting it because I figured, won't need that anymore. And I was wrong. I had to go back and get so much. So, for the love of all that you believe in, can you just please either watch this or like this? I mean, maybe dislike it. Leave a comment. Tell me that I'm dog shit. I really don't care. Just please, somebody care that I did this. Whether you hate it or love it, I can't. I don't. Whatever. Here's my review of Invincible Season 3. Don't expect anything crazy. And obviously, fucking spoilers. Right? Duh. Anyways. Let's go, boys. Alright, folks, we're gonna speed run this shit. Let's go, baby. So, Invincible Season 3. We're gonna start with Oliver. Why? I don't know. Because I guess for some reason he fits so well into this universe and they made him a huge part of this season, and I rather enjoyed it. So, why? Well, A, he ages super fast, so he's already like 11 or 12, maybe a little older than that even, and he's only been here for like 2 years. He's already got his powers, so he got them way faster than Mark did, and he is willing to just throw himself face first into some very deadly situations. It's been really fun watching Oliver and Mark and how their relationship has really grown from just like being brothers to like now Mark is also mentoring him in this way of not only using his powers, but using them correctly, making certain decisions, choices, and just being an all-around, well-adjusted adult, I guess, human, really. And so far, been pretty good. Mark's doing a good job. He's showing him what's up. He's teaching him and all about his powers and how to fly and do all the cool stuff. So he's training him. It's been fun. And I like the back and forth that you're constantly getting with these two characters. There's lots of scenes with this season where he's just such a little brother to Mark, and it's hilarious. But because he gets his powers, Mark eventually takes him to get his suit, and there's this little mishap with like his name and his suit. He's obviously trying to do the Omni-Man thing, and Mark has to break it down to him. Listen, you little shit, that's not how this works. People do not like this motherfucker. He destroyed our entire this whole Jesus Christ. Have you not been paying attention, Oliver? Fuck. Anyways, so Oliver, for the most part, he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll figure it out, and then they go on a mission. They come back, whatever. It's fine. Later on, there is a more important mission that happens. If you've been watching this show for a while, then you'll know that there's like these two clones, these two blue guys that kind of continue to clone one another. And every time they clone themselves with the process that they have, they get a little bit dumber. And they're just out here constantly causing mayhem and havoc. It's absolutely wild. And so because that is the situation, they decide they're going to break into a missile silo and they're going to destroy some stuff and launch a missile. Where Oliver says, I guess Mark says, "Oh no, you ain't going to do that." Mark's having a hard time. Oliver shows up out of nowhere, basically to save his little ass. And then, Oliver's doing a good job. I can't show too much violence apparently, but the twins eventually get smacked around a little bit, so they turn these keys and launch a missile. Mark's got to go get it, and Oliver's got to go break some eggs. And as you can see, break some eggs do Oliver. You like that? Pretty good, isn't it? There's 2 eggs. He got both of the eggs. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset about that. Easily my favorite scene with Cecil.
To do something like this, but I know you were just
Eric,
trying
look at me.
Moving on, we have the twins. And, as you can see, they are from an episode where in the future there's a dictator that's taken over Earth. Which, whatever, fine, who cares? Except for the fact that he's really fucking shit up. He's not a good dictator. He's making a lot of real shit decisions. So the twins come back in time and they steal the Declaration of Independence. They steal the Declaration of Independence because of the fact that they were told they could make a bullet that would kill this dictator in their future. Well, they try to convince Mark, like, hey, please, come help us. And Mark is just not feeling it. He's trying to get it in with Eve, and I don't blame him. They're constantly getting pulled away to do superhero shit, and he wants no part of it. So they decide that they're not going to ask. They're just going to jump the shit out of Mark. And they do. And it's pretty hilarious. They force him to the future. And in the future, Mark takes one glimpse around and is like, oh, yeah, it's pretty beat here, isn't it? So they take him to the main castle after they purposely get arrested. They talk to a whole bunch of robots. These robots really don't look that tough, but these humans are pretty much normal. There's like no superhumans left on Earth. Weird thing one. And then obviously it's believe it or not, all the destruction and stuff. Who's left is Immortal. The Immortal is still here and talks about how Mark left him in charge and how Mark is looking skinny. He could be a little sick, or he's basically saying all these things that I'm really surprised Mark doesn't take even a little interest. I know that maybe he doesn't think that he is this version of Mark in the future who knows that they kind of do the Dragon Ball Z thing here. But either way, after all this shit that Mark shrugs off, Immortal does beg Mark to kill him and convinces him and shows him, like, listen, I'm not right, I'm broken, like, kill me, I'm your friend, please kill me. And he deleted that save profile. He sure did, baby. But before he did any of that, he did have to make sure that, just to be respectful to Immortal, before that, he had to take off that fuzzy hat he was wearing. And he did that. And then that was the end of the Immortal stuff. He went home. This episode was hard to talk about. This was a hard episode to watch. I'm going to be very real with you. I was so excited and so happy, but also at the same time really upset with all of the developments and where the characters went. It just was... The whole episode was south, you know what I mean? Everything was going down the entire episode. So it starts with our man, Jesse Pinkman. You know, we got Aaron Paul voice acting a character here who's going to be... Basically, you'll just know him as Powerplex. I codenamed all these videos PP as I was recording them, and I just wanted to share that. I thought it was funny. So he has this like small power. It doesn't really do much, where if you like punch him or hit him, he can build an electrical charge. I think I kin him to like OG Ben from the other kid, the electric kid, Kevin, I think, before he like fucked up and tried to steal that. This isn't a video about that. Anyways, so he can build this electrical charge the more hurt he gets or whatever. And it turns out that Mark and Omni-Man accidentally killed his family, his sister, and his niece, the ones you were seeing, in that Chicago attack that happened when Omni-Man basically flipped shit a couple years back and decided to just like just ball out. I mean, anyways, crashed out beyond belief. But yeah, so... that happened, and he's trying to convince people that Mark is a bad guy and that he should be held accountable, and everyone kind of agrees that, like, A, ain't nobody doing that, and B, even if they wanted to, like, he is the best defense the Earth has. So he gets a job, Powerplex gets a job at the GDA, of all places, in the research development, our R&D department, if you will, and he gets his hands on these batteries that when you like attach them to your body, I think it's a permanent thing. I don't know. Does he wear the suit all the time after that? I don't know. I'd like to think he does, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, so and if you don't, I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you really quickly here. Hold on, because if you don't see Jane and Jesse within this. I mean, I'm not going to get into it right now because I think it'd be better to bring up later because this happens again in this season. And would you look at that shit? They have a child. So Mance is getting ready to take his revenge, and he is just freaking the fuck out over here, right? And they wake up their kid. Now, this is a different episode where the kid is just in the background, but they have a fucking kid. And if you don't see this, yeah, again, like, it's just, I can't. The outcome of this episode was just beyond belief. I could not, would not, should not ever watch this just lackadaisically. This is an episode where if you want to feel really shitty, you watch this episode. But anyways, long story short, he is a menace and destroying shit, breaking things, moving stuff around. Eve has to basically stop him. And then she does at the ceremony and memorial thing, and that goes pretty well for him, and that works, yada, yada, yada. But he convinces his wife that it's a good idea. Well, no, I don't. You know what? Not even. She's a crazy bitch, and she goes along with this plan. She says, "Oh, don't worry, honey. We can still get this asshole." And her plan is to tie herself up with their child, mind you. Motherfuckers couldn't find a babysitter. You couldn't. Anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Focus. So they tie themselves up. Mark gets there. When Mark gets there, he fights Powerplex. And as they're fighting, as they're beating each other up and doing the thing, you know, Mark breaks away for a second. He's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna untie you." And he tries, he fails, and then she spits in his face. She's like, "No, get the fuck off me. I don't like you." And so after that, he unleashes this really powerful attack, and that really powerful attack happens to murder family. Did you like that? Did you like that episode? I didn't like that episode. Comment how much you hated that episode. Take it, please. I hate it. Bad. It's scary. Anyways, it's good. It's not that I don't hate it. It's just it's hard to watch, but well written. Moving on. And next up, we're gonna be talking about our boy Rex. Anyways, our boy Rex. So he went from it's insane because coming from season 1, I've been watching this show since the beginning. He was a character that you were designed not to like that character, and he did a really good job. He made that a very easy thing to accomplish. But over the past 2 seasons and throughout this entire season, he does an amazing job of just making him a character that you don't want to not be there. You know what I mean? He is crazy. He's a character that you kind of rely on at this point. Mark and Cecil have a falling out, and because of that, Rex separates from the Guardians of the Globe and brings a couple of people with him. Ray, Mini Rex, and Monster Girl, Rudy, Jesus. And he gets them to separate. They kind of go back to doing what they were doing prior to that. They're fighting and doing their own kind of superhero thing without the Guardians of the Globe, and it's all working pretty well for them, I guess. They're having a good time. During all of that, Rex is just, I mean, he has risen the shit out of Ray. Ray has made it pretty clear that after last season with the Lizard League, she's really just not interested in putting her life in jeopardy constantly. She's done with it. She's gonna try to leave the group that Rex has started because it's just not interesting to her. She wants to like be a person and live her life and not be a superhero who's putting her life on the line every single time that she's doing something. So, you know, Rex respects that, and instead of being kind of sloppy and whatever, he really cleans himself up and maybe cooks up a dinner and like shows Ray that he can be that responsible man. And you know, alongside Mark and Eve's relationship, which I know I haven't talked about, you know, their relationship is, I feel like I wanted to do them instead just because I liked their dynamic. Not better than Mark and Eve, but just, you know, Mark and Eve was always an inevitable thing. You knew that was going to happen, but this was different. And I hate to do this to you sports fans, but we are going to put a pause on Rex's kind of story here because it really arcs into the next topic where I felt like it wouldn't do him justice if we didn't talk about him. And so with that said, just
I'm kind of in a good place. Weird.
You know what's another good place? My new bedroom.
Ho ho ho! Why did I avoid helping people move so many times?
Moving on to our next topic, because we need to go around and get back to Rex. So, moving on to the next topic. The combat. The holy brother. Where do we even start with this? This is so Multi-Paul, which is Kate's brother, I think, is he has the same power where he can separate himself infinitely, basically, right? Pisses in Mark's cereal, so Mark decides that he's going to throw him in jail, which pisses in this guy's cereal. He's a part of this big organization. He's a real bad guy, and he can turn into a dragon. And because he can turn into a dragon, he goes to break Multi-Paul out of prison, and there is this hella fun fight scene with like an actual mythological dragon, one that Mark can't even really hurt. I mean, he can hurt him, but he heals. He's literally made of mist, and the old dude just spits him out. It's really cool. I really liked his character, and I liked the defense that the dragon has. He's basically invincible. But anyways, so it creates a really fun fight, and simultaneously while Mark is fighting the dragon, Eve kind of gets separated because like all the prisoners are trying to escape, including Multi-Paul. And there's this amazing scene where the choreography for him was really awesome. He was doing this shadow clone jutsu thing and jumping around. He was wearing all orange. I just loved it. It was fun to watch. He did this thing where he made clone, jumped off him. Oh, fucking beautiful. Eve thinks that she gets him. She like encloses him in this big box. I say think because she didn't. She didn't get him. She tried. She did a good job though. I can't say she didn't. I think she encased the other ones in cement and killed them. But regardless, so Mark is out there. He's fighting the dragon. He's saving people. But that dragon snags the shit out of him. Oh my god. And he's like stuck on his tooth. It's brutal. I love it. Cheeks, baby. That shit is cheeked up. That fight is awesome. But yeah, so with that being said, that fight was great. So we're going to kind of tilt back. I wanted to give that fight some justice. Great. We're moving back to Rex now. Remember how I said it's great and he's been doing so much character development and loving it, and then that last thing that he said where I said that wasn't a good thing that he said that thing? It's time to talk about why he said that thing that he didn't say that the thing was a good thing. So there's multiple Marks, right? Angstrom is back. And because Angstrom is back, he has gone around and gathered 8 different versions of Mark. He has then taken those versions of Mark, and they're all kind of different stories for different reasons. He approached them individually and made them all individual propositions that if they come to this universe and absolutely fuck up all of what Mark's got here, right, then, yeah, then for the most part, he'd be happy and make these brokerages with these guys, right? So he goes to do that. However, all of these Marks are just designed. He says, go fuck everything up real quick. Go fuck everything up. Kill as many people as you can. Destroy all the cities. And my God, they do a really good job. They do a really good job. I mean, they are fucking these cities up. There are constantly within this entire episode, it spans over 3 days. Not all of, but so many like heroes that you didn't even know were helping defend the Earth get straight up murked. Like, I mean, straight out the cut, clap quiet, dead of the night, Dunskies, done deal. Like, it's crazy. And they're causing all this destruction, and Mark figures out about it, and he does come across these 2 Marks, and him and Eve have their own little conflict with them, and that's a lot of fun. But you know, even Oliver's flying around. He's hearing about all this destruction. He thinks he sees Mark. It's not Mark. It is an alternate version of Mark. So then he has to pair up with a couple of heroes, and we get this montage of all these heroes just getting beat. And it was brutal. It was fun to watch, but also like devastating. Like, the Earth lost a lot of people, defenders, and cities, honestly, because it wasn't just decentralized in the U. I mean, Mark went everywhere. The entire planet suffered on that day. So, you know, Mark and Eve, they do as much as they can, but Eve gets fucked up pretty bad. And then Mark is like, he refuses to leave her side. So that leaves a lot of the, like, other heroes to defend themselves, like the Guardians of the Globe. Their fight with the version of Mark that they got was hella wild. Nightwing, I think. I don't know. I don't remember his name. Shadow. I don't remember his fucking name. Anyways, he traps him in a portal. And I don't think they come back out. So we're left to kind of assume that he's dead. Rex is. Well, he gets to, he goes to defend Rudy and all them because Mark goes to Rex's place, or one of the Marks go to the Rex's place. He lets everybody escape, which is cool because, that's a really important thing. The one guy that can fly there obviously helps everyone escape. And Rex decides to 1v1 this Mark. And let's just say it, because you might be thinking, like, how would Rex beat Mark in a 1v1? And you'd be surprised because he does. He does beat Mark. Like, it's crazy. Because you don't. I feel like you not to downplay Rex's ability, but you really don't. I don't think you see him as that powerful. I don't think in the entire series you're supposed to be seeing him as like a super powerful character that could like 1v1 Mark. But after letting everyone escape, getting mortally injured and wounded, he does decide to. Him and Mark spit in each other's face for a quick second, and then. He decides to, he's got this big gash in his side. He reaches his hand into the gash and then grabs his bone and decides that he is going to turn his entire skeleton into an explosive. And it kills that version of Mark. It's pretty brutal. It's pretty crazy. And, rest in peace, our boy Rex. This is why I felt like it was important to... I wanted to separate his relationship with Ray from the fact that he died because I feel like it was important to mention both of these independently. Because you have to keep in mind that for the last 2 episodes of the season, it is just a rolling stone of, wild shit. So it's all of this happening, all of these Marks, all of these people dying, all these cities being destroyed, all this crazy shit. And it leads down to Angstrom. They're done. He's like, bring me Mark. They all kind of decide that, nah, I mean, what happens then? You beat your version of Mark, and then who gets to go first? Who's getting their part of the deal? The Marks are arguing. It's kind of funny. But for the most part, Angstrom is just not having it. He's not going to let them betray him. He thought... I guess he thought that it would happen later on or some shit like that. He drops a one-liner about it. But yeah, he doesn't let him. Then he does meet his, he goes back, he finds our Mark. Of course he does. Mark finds him and they go to fight. And he brings some new tricks to the table, but nothing absolutely crazy. It kind of reminds me of Doc Ock in this weird way because he'll open a portal and then he runs all these tiny little robots, these flying, hovering balls, spheres, things, balls, testicles, and launches them out of this portal in so many of them that it's a stream. And so Mark is kind of getting knocked around a bit. I mean, I feel like Angstrom for some reason is just, he got lucky he survived, and so to come back and 1v1 Mark like this is insane. It's an insane plan. He does kind of have Marks on the rope for a second, and he thinks that he might be able to get him by opening up portals in different places, because that's how last season he basically took him through multiple fucking realities, right? So with all that said, Mark does actually get to him. He somehow grabs him. Oliver's like, kill him, dude. And Mark's like, I guess you leave me no choice. And right as he goes to do that, a sphere smacks him in the face. And then Angstrom somehow gets away again. It happens twice. That guy is somehow really good at not dying. It's insane. So with that being all completed, all said, it's all done. We're at the end of the fucking trail here. Mark does get back to Eve. He gets to see her for a little bit. Everybody's talking about the destruction of the planet. I mean, it's beat. It is real beat. It's all broken down. It's all destroyed. It's all on fire. Mark didn't leave anything behind. And I say that as if it's one person, because going forward, that there's going to be tension here in future seasons. That for Mark's inability to kill somebody, to be a good enough person, is almost a weakness in one sense, because he could have killed Angstrom twice. He almost did last time, and he put himself through all this mental turmoil, and it was all kind of for nothing. But in the midst of all of the cleanup, we just got rid of Angstrom. He just escaped again. A fucking Viltrumite shows up. And so I just wanted to squeeze a bunch of combat segments into one little ball here so that you can understand that the last two... There's a lot of combat in this season, but specifically the last 2 episodes are just a tidal wave of back-to-back stuff. So, moving on. Okay, on to my absolute favorite episode of this show that's ever existed. Maybe excluding Adam Eve, because that Adam Eve special was pretty fuego. Oh, God, it was so good. But regardless of that, this episode was beyond belief. Mark is fighting a Viltrumite that comes to the planet. And this Viltrumite's name is Conquest. He is the one that they send in when things aren't going well and they need to regain control, basically, of whatever situation. He's the tough guy, if you will. So he's sent to Earth. He's told, like, by any means, take it over. Whether Mark fights you or not, then you know what to do and you know how to take over. Go do the thing because no one else can. And he's whooping Mark pretty good. There's moments where it feels like he's letting Mark punch him. I don't know if Mark's punches hurt so bad he just kind of stays kneeling, but at some point he'll like grab his fist or something like that, and it's rough. It's rough, and it's only worse when Oliver gets himself involved, because if Mark's getting whooped, Oliver is definitely going to get whooped, right? And he does. Oliver gets like a solid punch in, but other than that, I mean, he immediately gets mollywopped right into the shadow realm. It's pretty bad for our poor guy. He gets cheese pulled basically. Go figure. But Mark saves him, and Cecil pulls him out, and so now it's just Mark versus Conquest again. And Conquest pulls an Omni-Man, believe it or not, and just shreds through a beach and just messes up all these chicken nuggets. He smacks this ketchup bottle that flips all around. He pulls an Omni-Man from season 1. You know what I'm talking about. And then brings him to this open field. Which, hold up. Yeah, Mark. We're just gonna wait till now to do this. I feel like that's kind of bullshit. But whatever. So they're now fighting in this open field, and of course, Eve wakes up from the hospital. She's got a cast on. She comes to join the violence. And I cannot understate this. Eve does a great job. Not only does Eve do an immensely great job, but it's such a fun fight to watch. If you're going to watch any clips online that people are going into it any more than I am, just know that Eve did slap this man around pretty good. And it was really fun to watch. It was really enjoyable. And all season, this is kind of a moment that I'm going to take to just kind of glaze Eve a little bit. Because all season, anytime that she gets into combat, she is whooping ass. It is awesome. It's so fun to watch her fight. And, like, the fact that she did as much damage as she did to Conquest is, like, such an homage to how strong she eventually will be. Especially because, you know, if you saw the Adam Eve special, then you're going to know that there is, like, this kind of, like, overcharge ability that Eve has done once before. And after her and Conquest are... Because despite the fact that she is just absolutely whooping mans, she gets him basically backed into a corner, and she is hitting him left, right. It's impressive. There is basically like this moment where Conquest goes down, right? And before he's able to go down, before she's able to get like a final attack, like the finishing blow on him, I don't know, maybe it's good timing, or maybe he was just fucking around. I don't really know what the situation was, but he does delete Eve's save profile pretty quickly. You heard me right. And then Mark's doing the, like, I need you, Cecil. He goes to fight because he you know, it pushes him over the edge. And it's so funny because Conquest even said, he's just like, it doesn't make you stronger if you're angry. And Mark doesn't care because he pulls a Walking Dead and just bites the shit out of man. And he just bites the shit out of man's soul. I don't know. I mean, speaking of Walking Dead, I'm going to bring this up really quick, including Breaking Bad, including all of the season... I don't even know how to... So, there is, like, this fourth wall feeling that I've gotten twice in this season. Once in the Powerplex episode earlier that I briefly touched on, where I said that Powerplex and his wife and not necessarily their child, but they really feel and kind of look like Jesse Pinkman and Jane, and almost like obviously in a universe in which their lives were just different. They were still kindred souls, so much that in a different existence they're still together. Still tragic too. So yeah, but then also now you've got this situation here with this Conquest episode, because if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, then there's no way that at this point you can continue to ignore all of the very clear and obvious like references to The Walking Dead. You just can't. The Walking Dead, like, so I'll break it down for you real easy, baby. So Glenn in The Walking Dead was a character that personally was my favorite. And he was played by Steven Yeun, which you may or may not know that our boy Invincible is voiced by Steven Yeun. So because of that, and the fact that our boy Conquest here is voiced by Jeffrey D. Morgan, who was a character in The Walking Dead as well, if you know Negan. And between season 6 and season 7, there was like this cliffhanger episode where Negan had a bat and he was kind of pointing people out. He was like eeny, meeny, miny, mowing all of them. And in the season 7 premiere, you figured out who he was going to kill. He has established that like one of y'all is going to die. I'm picking now. You don't even get a say, and if one of you moves, then you're the next one to die. And so, me and my buddy made a bet actually between that season that I thought that Glenn was going to survive because they killed him in the comics. I didn't think they would do it again in the show. I don't know. But so with that being said, he made a bet that Glenn would die, and I made a bet that I didn't think it was going to be Glenn. I thought it would probably be Abraham because like Abraham seemed kind of like a threat. He looked Negan in the eyes in a way that I just assumed that's what I thought. And needless to say, we were both highly disappointed by the season 7 premiere where Negan did take out our boy Glenn. He also took out Abraham. And so with this fight here, there's almost like a kindred feeling again. So I got that kindred soul feeling from the, Powerplex episode and then again here in this episode. And I just had to kind of really, give it to Robert Kirkman. We don't like it when you kill Carl, but when you, like, strongly homage to other IPs in a way that, like, you don't have to establish it's really that. You can just make it obvious enough to someone who wants to see it that they can see it. Bravo. It's really cool. It's really cool to see that. But yeah, I can't show the end of this fight. It's too gory. It's too brutal. But let's just say that Mark, in fact, does. He gets a Kinder Egg himself. Oliver must have left one laying around. And it's very homagey to Glenn and Negan in reverse roles of The Walking Dead. And I just gotta say, 10 out of 10. This entire season was hella fun to watch. I loved every single bit of it. There was so much character building, story stuff. There was like what felt like alternate universe characters coming to life in a different world. There was just so much. And I had to re-record this video, which irritated the shit out of me. But we're here now. I know it was a little sloppy. Last time I put a lot of effort into it. It was really long. This time I just wanted to kind of not get it over with, but I wanted to make sure I kind of hit the bullet points I wanted. I had to cut out some stuff, but listen, if you're still here paying attention, if you're still watching, if you give a single shit about any of the stuff I do, I love your soul. So with that being said, I'm not going to take up any more of your fine people time. Invincible Season 3, just fucking watch it. Who cares what I say? It's all fucking internet nonsense anyways. But all y'all motherfuckers, people out there, have a good rest of your night. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, I guess. I don't know. Some shit like that.